Hey guys, Kakarot197 again. I've got my Titan's ring on, so it's time for some more Hazel madness. This time with an overview of the 144 scale high-grade Universal Century next generation mass production machine. Not to be confused with the next generation mass production machine from the previous video, the next generation mass production machine from the Jim Quel's manual, or the actual next generation mass production machine, the Barzam. So to avoid any unnecessary confusion, I will be calling this thing the twin booster type, for the very simple reason that it has twin boosters. Officially, not a whole lot is known about this thing, at least not as far as I could find, and as far as I know, this simply seems to be the next generation mass production machine with more equipment. It's got the Mk.II's shield and beam rifle, and then the twin boosters that the Hazel line is so famous for. And overall, the thing does look really good. It looks exactly the way I would expect a mass production variant of the Hazel line to look like. The only thing that I might have changed is a more Jim Quell inspired head, but then again, the Titans at this time were moving more towards mono-white machines. Well, they were basically doing that the whole war, and this thing does have a mono-eye in that sensor, but because it's high grade, it does not have the feature to actually show the mono eye. But believe me, it is in there. One small problem that the backpack now gives us with the extra equipment is that the body of the Primrose now again has the tendency to fall slightly backwards as it did with the Hazel Ozla configuration. Although it's not nearly as bad as it was with the Hazel Ozla. Although over time it can go all the way like that. So far things are looking pretty good for our twin booster type. The one big problem is going to be building it yourself, because this thing does have a pretty significant price tag. If you're going with the non-painting route, you will need a Primrose for the body, one Hazel Custom for most of the limbs and one of the shield boosters, then another Hazel Custom for the second shield booster, then you will need an Advanced Hazel for those few Advanced Hazel parts that are on the machine, and finally you will need either a Super Gundam or a Revive Mk.II depending on which one you want, landing you at a total of 7,500 yen if you went with the Super Gundam, or 7,000 yen if you went with the Revive Gundam Mk.II. But of course, for that pretty hefty price tag, you're not just getting the twin booster type, you will also have a bunch of stuff left over. For starters, you will have a bunch of Primrose stuff left over, which you can then use for other combinations that are listed in the manual of the Primrose. You can use the second cannon for the Primrose equipped with Tri-Booster unit, which requires 2 cannons, and you can use the second missile pod for the Primrose equipped with enhanced shield boosters, because this setup would require you to get a second Primrose kit specifically for that second missile pod. Then when it comes to your Hazels, the first Hazel Custom will basically just be a pile of junk. Yes, you have usable shields, you have a usable beam rifle, but other than that, it's just a body, some shoulders. Your second Hazel Custom that you're using will basically be the entire kit, because you're only using the second, well, you're only using it for the second shield booster, so your Hazel Custom itself has no more shield booster left. Then your Advanced Hazel, basically the only thing missing from this are the Advanced Hazel parts, so you can still use that to make a full Hazel Custom in combat deployment colors. And then finally, if you're going with the Super Gundam, you will still have most of your Super Gundam left over. It still has plenty of weapons to look amazing as it is. Or if you really want to, you could also use that backpack on the Jim 3 to make that a Jim 3 equipped with the G Defensor. So yes, 7,500 yen is quite a lot to spend on one single machine, but you are getting 3 other mobile suits out of it and some usable parts as well. Of course, things will be slightly cheaper if you're going with the painting option. You will still need the Primrose for the body. The Advanced Hazel will now take care of almost everything. For the second shield booster, you can buy any of the Hazel kits, but I would recommend you to go with the Hazel II. And then finally, you will still need a Gundam Mk.II or a Revive Gundam Mk.II for the beam rifle and the shield, which will then become a total of 5,400 yen if you went with the Gundam Mk.II, or 5,900 yen if you went with the Revive Gundam Mk.II. And in this case, your leftover parts will be the same pile of Primrose stuff, which you can use for the same things, as with the painting round. Then these parts will be left over from your advanced Hazel. Just imagine that they are all Titans colored. Your Hazel II will still be completely functional, because the reason I suggested to go with the Hazel II is that model kit was actually made to be the Hazel II plus a second shield booster. Also, the Hazel II is used in several other combinations, such as the Hazel Ozla and the previously mentioned Primrose equipped with Tri-Booster unit, which you can then also use the backpack of that guy from. And then finally, you will of course also have a Gundam Mk.II left, just without the beam rifle and without the shield. And when choosing between the revived version and the old version, I would always recommend to go with the old version. The thing is, the beam rifle of the revived version, it does not have a trigger guard, so it looks slightly less good in my opinion. Also, the backpack of the old Gundam Mk.II is compatible with the Hazel model kits. The backpack of the revived Gundam Mk.II is not. Also, if you want your twin booster unit to look the best possible, I would also recommend you to get a second Primrose kit for another shoulder that does not have that kind of ugly peg in there. So then, all that is left to do now is some size comparisons. First of all, here is next to the other two next generation mass production machines, and I know what you're all thinking. Is there gonna be yet another next generation mass production machine? And the answer is yes. But don't worry, it is just the combat deployment colors of this thing. Then here is next to the advanced Hazel and the Gundam Mk.II. And finally, here is next to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. And to know, the twin booster type is a pretty chunky mobile suit in itself. It's also a pretty tall one with those twin boosters. Now, while there are still a few combinations left to do with the Primrose, I think I've done enough videos about the Primrose for now. So for the next video, I'm probably either going to cover the Hrududu, or something a lot of people have requested me to do, Hazel Waifu. And talking about things that people asked me, a few of you asked me in the previous video where I got this ring. Now, kind of the bad news is I got it at a convention in Japan. I think I got it at the Tokyo Game Show at the Bandai booth. So yes, it is an official thing, but I have no idea where you could buy this online. Also, I do remember there being different rings for other factions as well, but I do not remember which ones there were. Honestly, I saw the Titans ring and I was just like, I gotta get that. And I didn't really pay attention to any of the other rings. But that is all for this overview of the twin booster type. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all next time with more Hazel madness.